Have you ever been in a toxic relationship?
Soila, you know my exes watch this thing, so
are you sure
you're putting me on the spot here.
They wouldn't know who is who.
They wouldn't know who is who. they wouldn't know who I'm talking about.
Oh, first of all, how many did you have?
No, I was a good boy. I don't have a lot of exes. I was a good boy, and in most of those relationships I was the bad one. I was the one with problems. They were all good girls.
That is very toxic, Curtis.
That a toxic relationship is not always extreme, because I think when we talk about toxic relationship, we assume these people beat each other.
Yeah.
There's physical abuse, there's verbal abuse, there's emotional abuse. But I think you can be in a relationship that is not very dramatic, but it is still toxic.
Very toxic, yes.
And this girl said that she loves it when she's in a relationship where when she makes a mistake, she's clobbered.
Any toxic relationship, a person does things to make you fully depend on them. You are not your own person. So you're constantly being told, unakuanga mjinga, you know, hata kwangi beautiful because of one mistake that you have done. Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of Soila and Curtis.
Soila and Curtis.
Yes, and Ethan. In the background,
the producer extraordinaire.
Did you come with your mic today?
No.
Okay, again, I miss how.
You're wearing my mic.
A beautiful and a deserved interruption from this lovely video that you're watching. We'd love to meet you this Thursday.
On the 13th from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It's gonna be an online conversation. You guys don't wanna miss this.
We want you to use conflict to your advantage. So instead of it creating a rift between the two of you, we want you to use it for connection.
Hence our conversation dubbed the beauty of conflict.
Love strong, fight fair.
So as you guys can see on the poster, please follow the details on how to pay so that we can send you the link before the D-Day. Cheers.
Continue watching the video.
No.
Okay, again, I miss how.
You're wearing my mic.
No, sorry. This is for the people who are talking. But anyway, guys, today's topic is led by Curtis. This is a conversation that Curtis is interested in.
You keep lying to the public. It is not led by Curtis. It is led by Soila and Nonata wanajua. They've just said Curtis. So it is led by Soila and Curtis. And today's conversation is very interesting. First of all, guys, thank you so much. We're enjoying the conversations and the comments that you guys are really bringing in the comment section. And this is what these videos are all about. To know that you guys are resonating with what you're saying, getting engaged, liking, sharing, and commenting.
And subscribing.
Pole, nimeku hijack tu hapo.
Exactly. Hivyo vile uko nakatanga 20 umerudia tabia za 2023.
What?
Unazilala 2024 na tunaenda 2025.
Guy.
Hata this is airing in 2025.
Oh, is you na shout.
But anyway, today we're talking about toxic relationships. The one thing that you guys love.
Yeah.
Signs that you're in a toxic relationship.
Signs that you're in a toxic relationship.
Have you ever been in a toxic relationship?
Soila, you know my exes watch this thing, so
are you sure
you're putting me on the spot here.
They wouldn't know who is who.
They wouldn't know who is who. They wouldn't know who I'm talking about.
Oh, first of all, how many did you have?
No, I was a good boy. I don't have a lot of exes. I was a good boy, and in most of those relationships, I was the bad one. I was the one with problems. They were all good girls.
That is very toxic, Curtis.
So
self-esteem chini ya carpet, What?
Anyway, so first of all, I think it's important if we can define what exactly a toxic relationship is.
Okay. Because
you can think you're in a toxic relationship when you really aren't.
Okay.
Or you can be in one and you have no idea you're in one.
Yeah. You're just in a challenging relationship. Challenging you to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say a toxic relationship is?
An imbalanced relationship.
Imbalanced in what?
Imbalanced in a way that it disadvantages the people in the relationship, or just advantages one person and the other person is left out. So I think that's an imbalanced situation whereby one person is growing, the other person is not growing, or one person is disadvantaged by the relationship. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think to add to that, I think another expression or a definition of a toxic relationship, there's a lot of manipulation and control.
Okay.
And I think that a toxic relationship is not always extreme, because I think when we talk about toxic relationship, we assume these people beat each other.
Yeah.
There's physical abuse,
Yeah.
there's verbal abuse,
Yeah.
there's emotional abuse. But I think you can be in a relationship that is not very dramatic, but it is still toxic.
Very toxic, yes.
Yeah.
I agree
There's
with
no
you.
much drama, but it is still a toxic relationship.
Okay, I know I've said it disadvantages one person, but I think it disadvantages both parties.
Okay.
Yeah, I know one person might think that they're superior than the other one, but in the long run, both of you are not growing, because the person who is abusive still continues to be abusive, never gets an opportunity to change. And the person who's being abused is being abused. That's the person who would think, I'm the one who's at a disadvantage in this relationship.
That's very interesting. There's a time I was watching 10 over 10.
Why would you watch 10 over 10?
I was in the sitting room and it came up.
Sure, you can just...
Really?
It came up.
You can just
I was
play.
actually working on my laptop, and then poop.
Then you
I was
said
in that
watch.
channel, and there was it was in my line of sight. I was in.
So, how do you can
So-
deduce whatever you are watching from 10 over 10?
So there's this girl who said something. You know the show.
Yeah.
A lot of young people. There's a lot of dance and music and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know how the conversation changed, and they started talking about relationships. And this girl, this must have been 3-4 years ago. It was just hapo ndo tumetoka COVID.
Yeah.
And this girl said that she loves it when she's in a relationship where when she makes a mistake, she's clobbered. She likes it when the boyfriend beats her up when she does something stupid.
Why would she like that?
She said for her, she believes you cannot be in a relationship with a girl and claim that you love her, but you don't discipline her in that way if she makes a mistake. So for her, her understanding was the beating is a sign that this guy actually loves her.
Oh, could she?
And this was a young girl. She must have been in her early 20s. So
Or
this is
yet-
a modern
Okay, girl.
Gen Z person.
Yeah.
This is not someone who grew up in traditional olden times. So
I again, we carry things and narratives based on how we were brought up. The dad would have shown her love by exactly, do you love your son? And because you love your son, you will discipline him so that he grows up to be a proper boy. Probably that's the same thing that she still has, that every person who claims to be in love with me, especially male figures, there's that place of beating that shows that you care for me and you want me to change. So probably that's her understanding. She may not think that's a
do you
toxic
think it's
way.
okay because she's okay with it?
No, it's not okay because she's okay with it. When do we stop? What are the boundaries when it comes to being clobbered? Yeah. And I think ukishapatiwa permission ya kuchapana ama you never know. I just don't think it's good for people to be chapwad in a relationship, neither in marriage.
For the non-Kiswahili speaking audience, to chapa is to beat.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's jump in, because
So what are some of the signs of a toxic relationship?
What are some of the signs? I think number one sign,
Yeah.
you lose a sense of self.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
In other words, you used to be this kind of person. You had your own thing going on. You had your own life going on. You had your hobbies. You had the things you liked to do. You liked cycling. You liked pottery. You liked writing music. There was something you liked to do that, contributed to who you are. But now you get into this relationship, and all the things that contributed to who you are stop. Now your life just revolves around this person. You don't have a sense, like we don't know who you are without this person. For example, if people meet Soila, all right, mostly, okay, not in our case, but let's say people who know us personally. If everybody who meets Soila has no idea who Soila is, they can only associate Soila with Curtis. I think that's a problem. Because you need to be your own person, you need to have your own things, your own interests.
Yeah, okay. That do not...
that don't necessarily, they don't contradict our relationship, but they don't need me for you to have your own identity going on.
So when you lose yourself, into the relationship that you lost interest in the things that you used to do.
Yeah, things that make up who you are.
I think, can we say that's aspect of isolation? That's a different sign of, because isolation is somebody who does not want you to hang out with your family, with your friends. They just want you to themselves.
Yes.
Is that part of that? Because now if they just want you to themselves, you may not have time to go and do the things that you love.
Yes. Yes, actually you've combined two things. So there's the aspect of I stopped doing the things I liked because I'm in this relationship.
Yeah.
But now I've also detached myself from relationships that I had.
Yeah, because of
the
this
good friends I used to have, family, whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm no longer available for those people because I'm just with this person of mine now.
Yeah.
I think that's toxic.
Yeah.
I think that's toxic because, and for us we talk about relationships a lot. You're a product of the different relationships that you have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They say, tell me your closest 5 people and I'll tell you who you are. You know, we are a product of the people we walk around. We are a product of virtues and values that we get from people and good relationships that we have. So if you get someone who all of a sudden detaches you and isolates you from other people, that is toxic.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'd say emotional abuse, whereby you're constantly being put down. There's verbal attacks with bad words. I know people can argue and fight, and then the voices can get to a certain level, and then and I think we'll have this conversation when you're talking about boundaries, about there's boundaries when you're resolving a conflict. But I think if there's emotional abuse, whereby you're being insulted and you do nothing about it, there's constant put down. It's like criticism that it's not constructive. So you're constantly being told unakuanga mjinga, you know, hata kwangi beautiful because of one mistake that you have done. Like never have they, or even by the time they're saying you are beautiful, it's because they want something from you, not to just compliment you that you're actually very beautiful.
I like that.
You know, so it's very manipulative. So and emotionally draining for you because you're being abused, you're constantly being put down, and nothing that is being said, all the criticism is not constructive. It's just to undo you completely. Yeah.
I think I really like that point. Because the other way that I think manipulation works in relationships, toxic relationships that is I tell you nice things to an extent that keeps you around.
Yeah.
But I put you down to an extent that is abusive. It's like there's a weird...
It's an intelligent game.
Push and pull, yes.
Yeah.
So I put you down, I put you down, I put you down so that you crave me saying something nice to you. And then just when you're about to break, I say something nice to you to bring you back very quickly.
Yes.
And then there's this false
very manipulative
sense of safety and
false
security.
Sense of safety and security
in this relationship.
Yeah.
And then I abuse you again.
So that's how it is. People, they beat you, then you say, I have gone back to my parents' house. And then they're like, I'm so sorry. It's because of this. It will never happen again. It was because of this. And it's a cycle. It's always bit sorry, and there's never, you see when you say what repentance is, it's turning away from
changing your mind,
changing your ways. So your sorry never holds water because you beat today, say sorry again, repeat. So that sorry is not really a sorry. The guy hasn't changed. And for me now, that's why you just leave the relationship, let the guy change for the sake of changing, not because he's changing so that he can keep you. You know. So
Question. Now, would you say, this is what I think, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Pastor Agnes, I believe...
Excuse me, I don't know who you're talking about.
I believe every single human being is manipulative.
Of course.
What matters is the level,
the degree of your manipulation,
the degree of the manipulation and the intent.
So how are you manipulative? Tell me.
How am I manipulative? That's a good question because it was leading to my next point. Do you think there's positive manipulation?
No.
Because we always talk about manipulation in a negative light.
What
But
is
do you think there's positive manipulation? For example, let's say there's this job that has come, and I think it's a perfect fit for you. I'm like, hey, this job will raise Soila's profile. It will give her the opportunity to travel. She'll share stages and rooms with world leaders. She'll get to change policies. Like, it's a brilliant job.
Yeah.
But you're struggling with imposter syndrome. You're like, who am I to get such a job? I don't deserve it. Blah, blah, blah. You put yourself down. So I find a way of manipulating you to actually see that job is good for you.
I don't think that's manipulation.
What is it?
It's just calling out the truthful person in me. Is that not manipulation?
Yeah, the word is not manipulation.
Yes, it's just calling out. I tell you, no, honestly, as my husband, I wouldn't expect you to manipulate me. I would expect you to actually call out the
No,
listen.
No,
so
wait,
if you're manipulating, because if manipulation, that means you are telling me false information so that I can pick up a job. Then Niko Kondani.
You know, I can manipulate you with the truth. Think of it this way.
Can you manipulate someone with the truth?
Listen, you know.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen.
I don't think it will. The truth is truth.
Listen. So, let's say
Unless the truth is
in
unknown
fact your
to me.
friends are here.
Yeah,
so
they are
Kazu
here.
and McKenna talk about you. Okay? And let's say they say something negative. Probably there's a dress you wore that looked bad.
Yeah,
So I find them,
They actually come for my dresses.
and then I find them talking about your dress. All right?
Yes.
So is it true that they talked about your dress?
Yeah, they
yes.
did, yeah.
Is it true that it was a negative comment they made about your dress? Yes. That is true. I can use that truth to come and say, you know, these are not really your friends. I think you should leave these people. I'm using the truth to manipulate how you think.
No.
It is true that they talked about your dress,
Yeah.
but now I'm trying to twist the intention of their conversation to make it look like they're
So there's no positive in it.
yes, but there's truth in it.
Yes, but
So I'm using truth.
you ask, can manipulation.
So that's my question. So if manipulation is me using truth negatively, so does it mean that when I use it positively, the definition changes? It's no longer manipulation.
Yes.
Because I'm using the same
If
tactic.
it's not selfish, it's not manipulation.
If it's not selfish, it's not manipulation. If
So
it's
what
for
is
growth,
it?
it's just you saying, no, this is it.
Because
If
for
it's
me,
no,
my
I don't
definition
think there's.
Of information. You see, manipulation, and let me read what the dictionary actually
Yeah.
says. It says it's the act of influencing or controlling someone in an underhanded and or unfair way to achieve a personal goal. So if it has to achieve a personal goal. If it's not achieving a personal goal,
Yes.
then it's not manipulation.
It's not
what
Okay.
you're doing is you're just using information to guide someone
Yes.
correctly. But once it's in a way to self-benefit yourself, then it becomes manipulation. Because
Okay.
you're like, I found them talking. I really wanted Soila's relationship and McKenna and Kadzo to be. I
Yeah.
want them to go their separate
So the
ways.
intent
So
matters.
you go
Yeah.
like, this is the opportunity. So you go and give that information, which is true,
Yeah.
but in your heart, you know you want to split them up.
Okay.
So that's manipulation. But if there's no self-intent, selfish intent, then it's just using information in the right context to guide someone the right way.
So I have something else to add on to that point of yours, and I don't think now I see toxic relationship or somebody can easily be manipulated if they don't have a backbone by themselves. Because babe, that one comment of my dress not being, let's say they talked badly about my dress, and then you come and tell me that they're not my friends, I don't think that will disqualify my friendships with them because of that one scenario. It might just be an one-off, we'll talked about, let's say, that one aspect of it, because I have experienced a relationship with them, that one mistake, I mean, all friendships have mistakes. I wouldn't have disqualified them and now think it's time to go apart because of a comment about a dress. You understand? So it matters
The intent.
and who they have been to me over the years. So if I was already doubtful of my relationship with them, and then you bring that comment, I'm like, yes, it's true. Actually, they are not my friends.
So do you agree with me that everybody has?
No.
What?
Everybody is manipulative, But this is it.
For selfish intent, that's all.
This is it.
Like they have told
I
you, let's
can
go
have
to
a manipulative thought.
The way I've manipulated you is like simple ways, like a married couple. Babe, taking me to the supermarket.
Yeah.
I will allow you to
Yeah,
get.
because the benefit is you, not me.
Yes.
Me, I'm not benefiting.
But I'm also benefiting because I'm telling you, take me to the supermarket. I don't think that's manipulation. That's just reward. Take me and then you'll buy yourself whatever you wanted to buy yourself and I'll pay for it. It is just exchange. It's just reward. It's not really manipulation. Because you benefit and I benefit.
Okay. Let me bring this in a way that married couples can understand. Okay, if you are not married, please, this is the time. Switch off, go to bed. Pick this up. But anyway, I'm kidding. So
jump to minute.
Jump to minute, whatever. Married couples. Okay. So you have the dude here who really wants some saucement.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They want some.
It had to go there.
Right? And the chick is not feeling some
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
So the guy finds a way of
manipulating you.
Manipulating. Not in a bad way, not in a harmful way. But they can be like,
wow.
They can be like, babe, I know you've been so tense this week. Let me massage your shoulder. Let me massage your back. Now me, I know.
We always see it from
me. I know I'm looking for something in that massage.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I know I'm looking for something, but you don't want the thing that me I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So the intention here is selfish.
So is that manipulation?
It is manipulation, but it's not harmful.
It's not harmful because
it's not harmful. You are not getting hurt.
Let me tell you.
It's selfish.
But it's selfish.
You're not considering her, so that's harmful.
Yeah.
But she might enjoy it.
This is it. Actually, let me just. I know this is TMI, but I've never regretted being manipulated for that. Yes, I'm like, okay, why we do this, and then I'm like, okay, it was actually a good plan to go ahead. Yeah. So it still benefited both of us. Yeah. But the manipulation part was like, no, it doesn't have to. You don't have to manipulate. Just yes.
So not everybody is manipulative.
Yes.
Can we say we all have manipulative thoughts, but we don't necessarily act on them?
Sometimes you can act on them.
Especially if you really want something from someone.
I don't think that there's one person who can go by saying that they've never manipulated anyone.
Yeah. We all have our...
Even if not consciously.
Yeah.
Subconsciously.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how many times have you had a conversation with, an argument with your wife and gone like,
yeah.
There was something that was done here.
Yeah.
So I don't think when it comes to manipulation, I feel like it's one of those things that I remember the first time our bishop talked about it in a sermon, and it came out in the most simple of ways, and I was like, oh, crap, I do a lot of manipulation. You get, because it's not one of those things that you plan, but because of our selfish tendencies, we find ourselves manipulating to achieve something.
Wow. Let's kill the manipulation story now.
That one
Next
is over.
one. So my other sign of toxic relationship is financial control.
How does that look like?
Financial control looks like somebody restricting you from accessing your own money, or they just want you to be fully dependent. Baby, I'm this.
You're pointing me down, Joe.
Baby T. From accessing your own money, and as well as make you financially dependent on them. Yes, such that you can't do anything without having
so they
to
are not
go through
empowering
them.
you.
They're not empowering you, they're just controlling you through the finances. Like, it can be your bank account, and they're like, you know what, you are they use their manipulation, the putting you down until you think you're not good with money, and let me help you manage your money. So when you're not to access your own money, there's still restriction how you're spending your money, and you have to depend on them for them to supply some of the needs that you have. So you are forever. I think any toxic relationship, a person does things to make you fully depend on them. You are not your own person. Yes.
The more we talk, the more I'm realizing that any good relationship must build up your self-image and your self-esteem.
Yeah.
If it puts you down and lowers your self-esteem, that is a sign of toxicity.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So the other point I would say of a toxic relationship is the relationship deteriorates into a lustful relationship.
Okay.
In other words, you guys cannot have fun or you cannot get along. Particularly in this context, I'm speaking mostly for people who are not married.
Yeah.
The relationship deteriorates to lustful relationships. Like, you don't feel like you have a good relationship until there is sourcement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Soila doesn't like when I use the word sourcement, but it's the best word to censor.
Just cheapens the entire thing, but yeah.
So in case you are listening to this and you are not watching, because some of you listen as you work, please come back to the screen. This is what sourcement means. Okay. Sourcement. This is the meaning. Okay. So we do that because this YouTube of yours likes to censor content here.
Curtis, you are just too much.
I think if a relationship deteriorates to the point whereby you are constantly fighting until you have sourcement.
Yeah.
Sourcement is the only thing that makes you happy.
And then after that, you're not even interested in each other.
After that, you have no interest
for each other.
In fact, sometimes you even feel disgusted with each other.
Yeah.
Until you want it again.
Yeah.
I think that's a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And for me, what I usually tell, because sometimes you go to
I think that's what they call friendship with benefits. Yeah,
yeah, that's friends with benefits. But no, friends with benefits is different because you are not in a relationship.
Oh, okay. All right.
But there's a relationship whereby that has become the foundation.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go to speaking engagements and people ask us these questions. For me, I usually say this. If you feel like you're in that kind of a relationship, if you really want to know that relationship is serving you, both of you well, if you really want to know it's a healthy relationship, abstain from that thing for 6 months and see.
Yeah. If it's going to survive.
See if the relationship is going to survive.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't survive, or you realize you are so bored of each other because you don't know each other apart from when that is happening, that is a sign of toxicity. By the way, fun fact, according to studies, I'll put this on the description. I don't know if, where did I read this? Is it Harvard School of Family Studies or something? The studies are showing, and this is not a Christian study, this is a secular study. The studies are showing that premarital sourcement is linked to rates of divorce when you finally get married. Actually, because like this generation of us that we are so obsessed with body count, the more people you've had sourcement with prior to marriage, the higher the chances of divorce. Especially if the people you're sleeping with is not the person you got married to.
Okay.
So as we are in this culture of getting experience, test driving and all that,
everybody counts.
You are really messing up your chances of actually having a good marriage.
Yeah.
So in case this is your experience, either you're in a dating relationship and you know there is sourcement going on, or you're married and you know that your past was full of that going on before you get married, this is not a judgment video to tell you how bad you are. This is a video to tell you that God can sort you out, because you see, you can't argue, you can't fight with facts, you know. And for me, when it comes to these things, I like looking for studies that have been done by secular organizations, so that it's not a biased outlook of matters.
Yeah.
So let God sort you out, so that by the time you're in marriage, or if you're already in marriage, you can start on a clean slate and you're able to enjoy this thing the way God wanted you to enjoy this thing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Probably my last point, and probably you can share your last point.
Yeah.
I think disrespect is one of the other thing. Toxicity in a relationship. And when you feel disrespected, when you feel ignored, when you feel unimportant. And I think it's just in line with what you had said earlier on. So if you're ignored, if you're disrespected where boundaries are concerned, or whatever you're saying, and they never get to follow through with what you want them to do, and they make you feel very unimportant unless you have them in your life, I think that's a very sign of.
How does disrespect look like to you?
For me, I think when for example, when it comes to boundaries, and I tell you we are meeting for a date, like keeping time, you know, let's meet for a date at this particular time, you don't show up, already that's disrespectful. If you don't communicate you're getting late, and then show up very late, and then you're so nonchalant about it, that just shows disrespect. When I tell you that these are things that I wouldn't want us to indulge in this relationship, and then you go ahead and prompt or probe me to do it, that's disrespectful because I have boundaries, but you want to break the boundaries. You don't actually honor
The boundaries.
the boundaries that we have in place.
Yeah.
So that's disrespect. I mean, abuse is disrespect. You are not supposed to abuse another human being. Don't use those cursing words on another person.
Yeah.
No matter how wrong they've wronged you, how much they've wronged, not how wrong, how much they've wronged you. I just think abuse is kutukana mtu. It's just, I feel even weird I don't even tukana pets, you know.
What is tukana? You know, some of
Abuse.
us, we don't speak Swahili.
Abuse, it's abuse, right?
Insult.
Insults, yes, some of us.
Yeah, some of us.
Ethan. Coconut, Ethan. Insult.
Yeah.
Yes, using insultive words against your person. Let's say if you are fighting.
Yeah.
So there's just disrespect in many ways. This disrespecting someone's space.
Yeah.
You know.
The more you are describing disrespect, the more I see issues of boundaries. Because the way I hear you talking, it's like to disrespect someone is to cross the boundaries that they have laid.
Yeah.
Whether it is financial boundaries, emotional boundaries, and all that kind of boundaries, which we are going to discuss in a future video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, my final point for this is, I think one sign that you're in a toxic relationship is that, and this kind of connects to something we've already discussed earlier, you become too secretive. Right?
Yeah.
You become too secretive. Ever since you got into this relationship, you're very secretive. Nobody knows anything about the two of you.
Yeah.
They just know that you hang out with this person a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about privacy. There's a difference between being secretive and being private.
Okay.
Privacy is important because you can't just tell everyone about the inner workings of your relationship.
Yeah.
So there are those things you need to guard. So privacy is expected,
Yes.
right? You're actually foolish if you just expose everything about the two of you.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of privacy that we need to have. But secrecy is a different thing.
Yeah.
Privacy, to me, the way I understand it, privacy is an issue of boundaries. There are certain things we've made private because we don't want certain boundaries being crossed by people into our union. But secrecy, I think, is about hiding a wrong that is going on.
Like usiambiane nilikugonga.
Yes. So secrecy is there's something fishy going on and you are making sure people don't know about
yes.
it. So privacy is an issue of boundaries and that's okay, but secrecy is an issue of covering up something that is fishy, something sketchy.
Covering up, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's true. And we've seen what privacy has done.
Yeah.
Whereby you go. I think even for people who are dating, it's just important for your fellow friends to know where you're going to hang out with your guy, especially university people. It's because of the cases that we've seen online. It's just good to alert your friend that you're going to meet your boyfriend or you're going to meet your girlfriend in this specific special place. And I think that's why you are really advocating, and we are advocating for non-sexual relationships, so that we are not told or we are left to only meet in Airbnbs or in places where just the two of us. You never know how the other person is going to act out. I mean, for an early on relationship, I wouldn't advise for you guys to be in an enclosed place where there's no one else. Just the two of you when you're getting to know this individual. Why? Because you never know how they're going to act. With the rising
you still
pace of
really don't know
femicide,
them.
and you still really don't. Yes.
You like them.
That's a problem.
You're attracted to them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you know them.
Exactly. That's a problem with
And
sexual
people don't
relationships.
know that. People, when you're outside marriage, we don't think that we don't know this person.
Yes.
Or just like I'm so
You, in
into
fact,
this
you're
person.
completely into the person.
We
You
don't
want to see you don't see the red flags.
We have similar interests.
Yeah.
So that means
Because in marriage everything is exposed. Because what you dislike is now exposed. But
You're going nowhere.
yeah, exactly. And if anything happens, we know who to blame. We know Curtis has been here.
Exactly.
But if it's outside,
there's no who's the accountable person.
Actually, I like that. I like that because in privacy, there's accountability.
Yeah.
In secrecy, there's no accountability. Like there's nobody you're answerable to except yourself.
Yeah.
And the things
Secrecy is lack of accountability.
Yes.
It's just that you don't want to be held accountable for your relationship.
Yeah.
And normally we say same thing with marriage. You just can't work as the two of you alone.
Yeah.
You have to have friends that you're working with.
Yeah.
You know, some of those things you need to call each other out in some things that we are, let's say, struggling with, growing in, and just empowering one another.
Yeah.
You know, so in a relationship whereby there's not a covenant of something as marriage, the more you need accountability, the more people need to know where you're going for dates. Better do it in public places. Go to Java, go to a park, go to whatever. You can easily be saved in case something happens. Unlike fungaing yourself in a room whereby I'm like, yeah. So.
All right, so that's it for today, guys. Anything that you want to let them know?
Like, share, subscribe.
Bye, guys. Cheers.
Time for with friends. That's a very long call.
Simuli Sema, you wanted 25 minutes. So I
Sure,
think
well.
you're just like,